Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu me Bho Rama Mamuddhara. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Satgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha te mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In the last session, we had seen the topic of upasanas. 3 different upasanas were mentioned. First one was meditating upon lightning. Just looking at lightning in the phenomenal world called as Adhibhuta Upasana. Remembering the whole prasanga, whatever happened with Devatas, how Yaksha came and broke their pride. Chintanam of that whole prasanga, that itself is an upasana. The symbolic meaning there was, there is a similarity between the lightning example and how Yaksha came, appeared and disappeared in front of Devatas. Whatever we are familiar with, it is easy to hold that as the support and meditate upon that thing. Whatever support we can effortlessly turn our mind towards, that thing we can hold on to and use that support for meditation. So in case of Devatas, they had seen Yaksha appear and disappear. So it was easier to take that as the alambanam, that as the support, and use it for meditation. That's why Uma Devi, when she is giving this Upasana techniques, or you can say Upanishad Rishi is giving Upasana techniques, it is for a particular student. For a particular student, based upon that student's aptitude, mindset, sadhana is given. If you see Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter, student there is Naradji. And Naradji goes to Brahmaji, Sanat Kumara he goes to, and he lists all his qualifications, what all degrees he has, what all vidyas he has learned. Sanat Kumara, they say, these are all words. You have only learnt words, you have not learned the substratum of all these vidyas, which is Brahman. But the Upasana which is pointed out is whatever names you know, meditate upon that name as Brahma. Nama Brahma iti upasita. Meaning if a student is familiar with lot of worldly knowledge. There the Upasana is meditate upon that knowledge as Brahman. Brahman alone is appearing as everything. And you'll have some similarity in each of those examples. So here, one example is of thunder. What was the another metaphor, the symbolic meaning we had seen? Threading of a needle. Means how alert one has to be when that lightning comes and goes away. In that flash of a moment, flash of a second, if you have to thread that needle, how alert you have to be. Like that, one has to be alert for Brahma Vidya. Today's meditation, what we saw, that is one of the foundational concepts of Vedanta. Anytime we get this question, what are we trying to do here? So many texts we study, so many other sadhanas we do. What is the main essence of this whole thing? We say there is Brahman and there is Nama Rupa. Both of them are mixed. In the beginning, attention goes only on Nama Rupa. Brahma is as though in the background. Before we do Shravanam, we don't even know that there is something called as Brahman. True or not? There is something called as Chaitanya. We got to know only after doing Shravanam. Even after starting to do Shravanam, Chaitanya doesn't become available to us all the time. In spite of being ever present, it is as though not available to us. So Nama Rupa is still in the foreground and Brahman is in the background. The culmination of Vedantic journey is to bring this background to the foreground. Meaning Nama Rupa goes behind and knowledge of Brahman is shining forth very clearly. That is the final end goal. But for that, mind has to get tuned. That is why these upasanas are given. Then the second upasana was Adhidaivat Upasana, blinking of an eyelid. With that as the support, attention is shifted to Chaitanya. See, if you keep saying Chaitanya, Chaitanya, sometimes it is very dry. We don't connect as much. Some are nodding their head, yes. So that Chaitanya you can replace by Bhagavan. Whenever I think of thunder, I should remember my Lord. Whenever I blink my eye, I should remember Bhagavan. And whoever is our Ishta Devata, with that deity having that closeness. Upasana is not Tarka Pradhana. Doesn't have too much of logic. The ingredients needed for success in Upasana, first one is Shraddha. Faith that if this is pointed out in Upanishads, then this is how this Upasana has to be done. If it is too simple, sometimes we start doubting. Blinking of eyelid, is that Upasana? Looking at thunder, is that Upasana? Shraddhatsva. Having the Shraddha on the technique and also efficacy. If I do it, whatever result is promised, I will get. That is the first ingredient, Shraddha. Second ingredient is knowledge of the connection. We have been seeing thunder for so long. If you don't know the connection between thunder and Upasya, that support, in spite of that thing being there in front of us, we will not use it for Upasana. Sometimes in India, when you dry your clothes outside, moment you hear thunder, what is the first thought? I should get my clothes inside. Moment we hear thunder, this thought doesn't come that this is Yaksha, how he appeared and disappeared. Like that, I should meditate. This is called a Sambandha Bodha between Alambanam and Upasya. Alambanam means support. That support will be very ordinary. Pujo Guruji gave a beautiful definition of Upasana. This is in that book, Dhyana Swarupam. What is Upasana? Seeing extraordinary in the ordinary. Seeing extraordinary in the ordinary, that is Upasana. Blinking of an eyelid, very ordinary thing. But Upasaka is the one who can see Sarva Shaktiman, Bhagavan, with the help of this simple practice. Another way to look at Upasana is Guna Chintanam is Upasana. Guna Chintanam. Meditating upon the Guna. That is Upasana. Truth by itself is Nirguna. That same Nirguna, some gunas are superimposed. And with the help of those gunas, we can shift our mind to that truth. It is just like meditating upon space. You say to think about space and to bring bhavana about space is hard. So it is said you meditate upon temple space. Temple space. And you can give it some titles also. Call it a sacred space. Right? Where is the sacredness of space coming from? Conditioning of tempo. But if I'm unable to turn attention directly to infinite space, it is a take support of tempo and meditate upon that space as sacred space. It is the same thing with this Upasana also. All different supports are given with the help of that, turning attention to Chaitanya. Okay, same with blinking of an eyelid also. We keep doing it so many times, but we won't notice it unless there is some twitch. Suddenly we start thinking, oh, why is this blinking more? So those supports are taken, which is very, very ordinary. And then something great is superimposed there. Okay, 2 upasanas we had seen. Now the third one, we'll see but little bit of the second mantra. The second upasana was remaining. Actually, no, I think we stopped in Adhibhuta Upasana part. The last part of Adhibhuta Upasana we have to complete. Okay, this is the mantra 4.4. Tasya esha adeshaha yat etat vidyutaha vyadyutada iti it nyami mishada iti adhidaivatam. 2 upasanas, the thunder upasana and blinking of an eyelid, they are given in this mantra. Now we had seen the initial part. Tasya esha adesha. Tasya brahmana esha adesha. We should never miss this point of whose upasana we are doing. No matter which support we take, supports might keep changing. But upasya should be clearly understood. That same Brahman whom we elaborated just now, whom Kenopanishad elaborates until now, that same Brahman upasana is done. Tasya esha adesha. Adesha means this is the clear injunction, this is the instruction. Yad etad vidyutaha vyadyutada. Just like there is illumination of lightning, like that Yaksha came and disappeared. Iti it nyami mishada. Just like there is blinking of an eyelid, like that Yaksha came and disappeared. The objects which are outside, those objects appear And when the eyelids are closed, they disappear. That is the similarity. Do it slowly and see, like this whole world which is there, it appears and it disappears. In that way, this whole creation appears in consciousness at the blink of an eyelid, and it can disappear also at the blink of an eyelid. Pralaya, we should not feel Bhagavan dismantles this creation like we dismantle a sofa. First he removes the nuts, then he takes all the planks aside, then keeps it in one place. If Srishti happened in fraction of a second, Pralaya doesn't need that much time. In that way, this creation happens. Meditate upon that consciousness, which is a substratum of creation. That is this sadhana. You know, if you know some subject very well, then you become very, very specific about things there. If somebody is a trained music teacher, very, very deep into music, little bit of swara here and there, very quickly they'll correct it. Is it not like this? Like that, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is the perfect teacher of Advaita Vedanta. Little bit he sees there is deviation happening from Advaita Vedanta, he will stop. He will clarify, then move forward. What was the example we had seen? Lightning was the example. Illumination of lightning. He says if you match this illumination of lightning with Brahman, you might get some idea that Brahman also has some illumination which is an action. And sometimes you also might have this idea. Say, where is Brahman? Brahman is inside. He's illumining. If it becomes an action, it will become subject to destruction. This point we had seen earlier also. Whatever is an action, that locus undergoes modification. At some point it will get tired. At some point it will undergo modification and get destroyed. So if Brahman is also undergoing some action, if Brahman is doing some action, then it will have all these flaws ending with destruction. That is why Bhagavan says, don't take that metaphor or don't take that meaning. You can just focus on the brilliance part. How that lighting appeared, there is brilliance there. He says, like that, there is brilliance of Brahma. Don't make it as an action of illumining. See, just like when that music teacher corrects, and if we are not very much into music, sometimes you don't know what he corrected. He said something, student also nodded, both of them spoke. Same thing happens in Vedanta also. He said, what is the problem? If he says Brahman is illumining, what is it? What is the difference between brilliance of Brahman and illumining of Brahman? What main point we should catch here is, there is no vikara, there is no change. Illumining is also one form of action. It is just like if I say, sit here in this hall and keep an eye on whoever comes in this hall the whole day. You don't have to talk to them, don't have to tell them anything. Just sit. Today is Saturday, people will come for Bal Vihar. Whole day you sit and just watch. How will you feel at the end of the day? Tired, right? Because you were illumining that object, but that illumination was an action. Eyes were illumining forms, but that illumination of eye is an action. Whereas illumination of Sakshi, the consciousness, is unlike that. It is unlike that. That is what Bhagavan is clarifying here. I'll just read it directly. विद्युतः विद्योतनम् इव इत्यर्थः यथा सकृद् विद्युतमिति श्रुत्यन्तरे च दर्शनात् विद्युत इव हि सकृदात्मानं दर्शयित्वा तिरोभूतं ब्रह्म देवेभ्यः. He says in this point until this line is from the previous chain of thought. Okay. Athava means that second interpretation is giving. So Bhagavan said the similarity here is the appearance and disappearance. Sakrud Atmanam Darshayatva Tirobhutam Brahma Devebhyaha means how Yaksha came, appeared and disappeared. Like that, this thunder comes, appears and disappears. So with that, remembering this fact, that this is how Bhagavan gave darshan to devotees. This is how he broke their pride and made sure that they attain Brahmajnanam. Okay. Now he says, what is the alternate meaning? Athava vidyutaha tejaha iti adhyaharyam. Don't say vidyutaha vidyotanam. I'm not very comfortable with the word vidyotanam, he says. Illumination of lightning. He says, don't take that interpretation. Second one is better. Say brilliance of lightning. Vidyutaha tejaha iti adhyaharyam. Adhyaharyam means you have to add. You have to add. Many people, they have this habit, whenever they say a sentence, you have to add 2-3 words to make sense of what they wanted. When they look somewhere and say, bring that. Bring that means bring what? Bring that book which is on the shelf. So adhyaharya means you have to add something. Like this, Bhagavan says, add the word tejaha. Vidyutaha tejaha iti adhyaharyam. The brilliance of lightning that you have to understand. Vyadyutat vidyotitavat a iva. Just like this lightning appeared with that brilliance, like that Yaksha appeared. Vidyutaha tejaha sakrut vidyotitavat iva iti abhiprayah. Just once he appeared like that and he disappeared. Like that, this brilliance appeared once and it disappeared. Brilliance of lightning and brilliance of Yaksha. That is the similarity. Iti shabdah adesha pratinirdeşarthah iti ayam adesha iti. Iti shabdah is to emphasize the adesha. I mean, this is how you should meditate. Adesha, we translated it as clear instruction. Clear instruction, whatever has been given, on that you meditate. Iti ayam adesha iti. This is the injunction. It shabda samuchayartha. In the mantra, it shabda comes, that is to say, okay, now we have elaborated the thunder example. Remaining part will elaborate, that is the blinking of an eyelid example. It shabda samuchayartha. Now the second technique on that little bit of bhashya is there. This you can repeat. Ayam cha aparaha tasya adeshaha kosau nyami mishat yatha chakshuhu nyami mishat nimesham krutavat swarthe nich upamartha eva akarah chakshushah vishayam prati prakashatiro bhava iva cha ityarthah iti adhidaivatam devata vishayam brahmana upamana darshanam. Ayam cha aparaha tasya adeshaha. Now this is the second adesha of the same Brahma, a different one. Kaha asau, what is this adesha? Nyami mishat yatha chakshuhu. Just like the eyelids blink, this is the Adesha. Nyamimishat, what is the meaning? Nimesham krutavat. The eyelids blinked. The way these words are formed in Sanskrit, if you put some kind of suffixes, it becomes the eyelids blinked. If you use that suffix in a different context, the meaning becomes the eyelids were made to blink. Eyelids were made to blink. Bhagavan says, don't take the second meaning. Take the first one. Swarthe nich. That pratyaya suffix, if you are using, it is in the meaning of the eyelids blinked. Upamartha eva akara. That a thing is there. That is for indicating the upama. Means pay attention to the similarity also. If you only hold on to eyelid, only hold on to lightning, that is not upasana. Because something else will come to mind. The similarity part will not come to mind. That's why Bhagavan says that akaraha is to bring our attention to the similarity. What is the similarity is not given in mantra. Did you notice that? Mantra only says meditate upon thunder as Brahman. Meditate upon blinking of an eyelid on Brahman as Brahman. Now it doesn't say what is the similarity. That is why we need bhashya. You see, what is the similarity for eyelid? Bhagavan says, Chakshushaha vishayam prati prakashatiro bhava. Of the eyes with regards to the object. Chakshushaha vishayam prati. Prakasha tiro bhava iva. Means when you blink the eyelid, the light disappears. Light which is illumining the object, that disappears. And again, when you open your eyes, that light is available again. Like this, Yaksha appeared and disappeared. In simple words, light appears and disappears. Like that, Yaksha appeared and disappeared. Prakasha tiro bhava ivacha ityartha iti adhidaivatam devata vishayam brahmanaha upamana darshanam. This is the Adhidaivata Upasana of Brahma. Okay. Means either you can take the light appearance, disappearance as a similarity, or the second one is world appears and disappears. That also we had seen, right? When you open the eyes, world is there. This world is perceived. Close the eyes, world disappears. So it's like that, world appears and disappears in Brahma. In that way, meditate. But we should find our own way of making this sweeter. The study part of it is always technical. So when we are practicing this upasana, or at least we should have this desire to practice this upasana, while it is being done, all the bhakti darshana we have studied. Different things in Bhagavatam, Ramayana, whatever connects to our heart. All of that should come to mind with the help of this support. What is that verse in Gopika Geet? Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam. As gopis are saying, our life is scorched, not by samsara. Samsara also can heat up. But you say our life is scorched by your katha. Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam. What did it do? It took all the impurities of the mind away. Kavibi riditam kalma shapaham. Not only did it take impurities away, it brought all goodness in life. Shravana Mangalam. Bhagavad Katha is that nature of Bhagavan is such, remembering whom all goodness comes. Shrimadatam. Whatever we needed in the world outside, even that was provided. Bhuvi grunantite bhuri dajana. This is not a new path Bhurida Janaha. There are many people who have walked this path and made their life blessed. So every Bhakti Grantha should complement this Upasana, whichever Upasana we are doing. That is a part of Katha. Elaborate it in such a way that it gets ingrained in our mind. Sometimes you think Ramayana story by itself is very simple. Why so much of elaboration is there? Bhagwan Rama walking in the forest and meeting different people. Now he went and he met. How much time does it take to explain this part? Goswami has written 12 dohas just on that portion. Right? Those of you who are attending Ramayana class, that is the portion we are seeing right now. That elaboration is such that whenever I meditate upon Vanavasi Rama, that whole prasanga should come to mind. How Bhagwan went, how he met people there, and how they went into samadhi looking at Bhagwan. That is the bhava. Now the third upasana, that is on mind. Very beautiful one. Adhyatmam yat etat gacchati iva cha manaha anena cha etat upasmarati abhikshnam sankalpaha. Adhibhuta is done, Adhidaiva is done. This is Adhyatma Upasana. Atha Adhyatmam yat etat gacchati iva. Mean this Brahman with the conditioning of mind appears to be moving. Mind appears to be moving. With the help of this moving mind, shift attention to Brahma. Moving mind means don't think that mind goes somewhere. Different thoughts coming itself is movement of mind. Different thoughts coming, that itself is movement of mind. You must have heard that Zen story. Two disciples, Zen monks, Zen disciples, they were debating. One person said flag is moving. One disciple said that flag is moving. Another said wind is moving. Another said wind is moving. And both were logically proving, is flag fluttering or is wind fluttering? The Zen monk came up. He said, why are you fighting? He said, Master, tell us, is the flag moving or is the wind moving? Is the flag fluttering or is the wind fluttering? He said, neither is the flag fluttering nor is the wind fluttering. It's your mind fluttering. Means every thought that comes is a flutter of the mind. In Mandukya, it is said as Manaspandanam. What is Dvaitam? If you ask Gaudapadacharya, he says Manaspandanam is Dvaitam. Flutter in consciousness. That is how he says. But the good news is, because this is a conditioning, thought is a conditioning of consciousness, you can use that conditioning to shift attention to consciousness. That is this upasana. Etat gacchati iva cha manaha, anena cha etat upasmarati. So first etat, you can take it for mind. Mind appears to be moving. With the help of that, anena cha etat upasmarati. He remembers Brahman. He remembers Bhagavan. Etat upasmarati abhikshnam. Abhikshnam means it happens repeatedly. See, that is the beauty of this upasanas. Thunder upasana, once in a while it will happen. Blinking of an eyelid, more frequently. But if you say, I'm shifting attention to Bhagavan through my mind, there is no instance where we cannot do this upasana. Thoughts keep coming, and that thought can illumine an object. Right? But here it is said, the illuminator is illumined by that thought. We'll see that more in the next slide, but I hope this part is clear. Right? Manaha anena cha etat upasmarati. Abhikshnam means repeatedly. Any thought which is there. It could be of sankalpa, it could be kama, it could be krodha. This doesn't matter what is that thought. Using that thought, shift attention to consciousness. This is the upasana. Let us see. Atha anantaram adhyatmam pratyagatma vishaya adesha uchyate yadetat gacchati vacha manaha etat brahma dhaukate iva vishayi karoti iva yaccha anena manasa etat brahma upasmarati samipatah स्मरति साधकः अभीक्ष्णं भृशं संकल्पः च मनसः ब्रह्म विषयः. अथ अनंतरम. Now having explained Adhidaivat Upasana, we will explain Adhyatma Upasana. Every Upasana is accomplishing few things for us. If we do Adhidaiva Upasana, it will bring this idea in our mind that Brahman is all-pervading. Because Adhidaiva Upasana, world was involved. Right? Jagat was involved. So that Brahma, which is all-pervading, that is whom I meditate upon. If we do Adhyatma Upasana, the purpose of Adhyatma Upasana is to bring that all-pervading Lord within, or to recognize that all-pervading Bhagavan right here within us. One of the phalam of Upasana is Anaishvarya Nivrutti. Anaishvarya Nivrutti means constantly this sadhaka keeps feeling, I am lacking something. I am missing something. I need something from outside to be complete. This is that Bhagavan who is the most worshipful, most powerful, one who has all kinds of bhagas. He is available right inside. The story Gurudev would tell is, he would dramatize it. This short story, he will tell it in 15 minutes. Vivek Chudamani, that example comes. Where there is a lot of wealth hidden by his forefathers, and this person forgets. There are difficult times. Although he is walking on top of that land where that whole wealth is hidden, still his sorrow doesn't go away. Means you need somebody to come and tell that this land that you are walking upon, in that there is a great treasure. Dig it up a little bit, all your sorrows will go away. And not that it is somebody else's wealth, it is your wealth only. Like that they say, this Bhagavan is seated inside, turned away from whom there is lot of anxiousness, lot of anxiety. Another example he would give is Sethji in the train. There was a Sethji who was carrying lot of bundles of cash. He went inside in the train, and next to him was a dacoit, very, very skilled. And he knew that if this Sethji has this bundle of cash, before he gets down at his destination, I have to accomplish my job. He can't directly go and do anything. So he forged a friendship. Very nice. They were talking and everything. And the Sethji, whenever he had to go to the restroom in the train, he would tell this so-called friend, who was a dacoit, please keep an eye on my things. The moment he would go there, this fellow would search everything of that Sethji, his bag, his bed, under the thing, everything he saw. But still there was nothing. And Gurudev would dramatize it, This Sethji, as though to rub salt on his wounds, he would come and count that cash again in front of him. Then again he would do that. He would go wherever he wants. Still that dacoit was unable to find, where is this cash? Then finally they get down, both of them. It is said he does Sashtang Pranam. The dacoit does Sashtang Pranam to that Sethji. He said, I thought I was the most skilled person in this business. Looks like there is somebody who is better than me. Can you please tell me? Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. Where you kept this cash. Then that Sethji tells, I kept it safely under your pillow. I knew you'd search everywhere, but not here. He says, Bhagavan is just like that. For Ananda, for happiness, we will search everywhere, but not inside. The one who is able to search, in that sadhaka, Anaishvarya Nivrutti happens. Anaishvarya Nivrutti, if you want to simplify it, dependence on the world for happiness. The one who is Samartha, one who is Ishvara, that person is independent. He doesn't depend upon world for things. Like that, one who is Ishvara in terms of Ananda doesn't depend upon the world for Ananda. That is the result of this Upasana. It can remove our mind from worldly dependence. Such a great phalam it is. Pratyagatma Vishaya Adesha Uchyate. This was the word. Adhidaivat Upasana spoke about Brahman from creation standpoint. Adhyatma Upasana is to bring that same Brahma inside. Bring that Brahma inside means recognize that Brahma inside. Yad etad gacchati iva cha manaha. What appears to be going as though. Because conditioning is of mind, and mind continuously keeps going. It is just like you take a pot, you move it from one place to another. What happens to the space? Does it move or not? How many of you say yes? You can raise your hand online also. How many of you say no? Doesn't move. In Upasana, even if you say it moves, it's okay. See, Upasana is slightly different from Jnanam. He says that space which is moving, through the conditioning, I am shifting attention to that space. Really speaking, space doesn't move. But if that movement helps me shift attention to space, it is still okay. But in essential nature, that space doesn't move. So here also, Gacchati Iva, Brahman appears to be moving as though. By itself, it is not moving. But the conditioning which is there, that superimposes movement on consciousness. Yadetad gacchati iva cha manaha, etad brahma dhaukate. Dhaukate means it goes. Vishay karoti iva. Look at if you are alert, it should ring a bell. Huh? Brahma Vishay karoti iva. Means Brahman becomes an object of knowledge as though. He said just now so much of mantras we saw in Kenopanishad. Brahman is that which doesn't become an object of knowledge. He says we know. But such kind of Brahman is hard for us to appreciate directly. So using thought, it is as though Brahman is revealed. What is it generally? Brahman reveals thoughts. Right? Okay, I will give you two pairs. Tell me who is the illuminator, who is the illumined. There is an apple, and this is our eye. Who is the illumined? Apple. Who is the illuminator? Eye. Who reveals whom? Illuminator reveals illumined. Eyes reveal the apple. What is being said here is, illumined is revealing illuminator. The very fact you are seeing an apple means eyes have to be there. Looking at the apple, shift attention to the eye. Okay? That is the switch. Now another pair. There is thought, there is consciousness. Who is illumined over here? Thought is the illumined. Who is the illuminator? Consciousness. Illuminator reveals illumined. Vedanta. Consciousness reveals thoughts. Upasana is what? Thought is revealing consciousness. Thought is revealing consciousness. The very fact there is a thought means using that thought, I can shift attention to consciousness. Okay, eva Vishayi karoti. That is why Vishayi karoti is going with Brahma. How come Brahman is becoming a Vishaya? Not Vishaya in terms of an object outside. Means using the thought, Brahman is illumined. In that way, it is becoming Vishaya. Yatcha anena manasa etat Brahma upasmarati. Through the mind, this Brahman is remembered. Remembered means meditated upon with lot of love. See, Upasana Prakanam, that's why Brahma, Chaitanya, if that is not ringing a bell, replace that word with Bhagavan. In and through every thought, I remember my Lord. In and through every thought, attention should go on Bhagavan. Samipatah Smarati. Samipatah Smarati means very closely. Closeness is very dear to the heart. That Bhagavan who is very dear to the heart, keeping that bhava, he meditates. That is when Upasana will become a joy. And all the other practices that we do is to bring this samipyam to Bhagavan. Whatever pujanam we do, japa we do, stotram we chant, stories we hear of the Lord. It is not only the analysis part. Main part is, has love for Bhagavan come in our heart. That Bhagavan who is inside, that Bhagavan who is outside as his creation. See, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, every word he writes for a reason. Who is the one who will be able to do this upasana? He says sadhakaha. You remember the 4 stations in Jiva Yatra? Bhajagovindam class we had seen. First one was Pamaraha. Pamara wants bhoga. Ishavasya also we saw this. Wants enjoyment, doesn't care about means. Vishayi wants enjoyment, but through a dharmic way. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is telling here, these two will find this upasana very hard. Somebody is Pamaraha, this Upasana is far-fetched. Even Vishayi will find this Upasana hard. Why is that? It's a great accomplishment to pay attention to thoughts. Throughout our day, we should think, where is our attention? In spite of thought being there in every experience, our attention mostly is on objects. Right? Even now we are listening, I am talking. Really speaking, the one who is talking is the organ of speech. But there is a thought behind it, which is prompting that speech to speak. Listening also the same, happening through karmendriya, jnanendriya of karana. Speech is karmendriya. But there is a vritti, there is a thought behind it, which is allowing us to listen. And if that thought is not there, no matter what is being heard, it is as though we have not listened. To pay attention to that thought, Bhagavan says that person has to be sadhaka. Means to some extent, he should have turned his mind inwards. He should be able to calm down his mind. Too much of Vishayas, this Upasana, to first pay attention to thought itself is hard. How will you meditate upon Brahman, which is known through thought? Meaning, in other Upasana, Alambanam was simpler. Thunder, you can see. Blinking of an eyelid, you can notice. But thought as the support, it becomes even more challenging. Having a Vigraha as a support is easier. But if you say that support is this thought, in that thought, meditate upon that Brahma. Bhagavan says for that, we need to become sadhakas. Ability to let go of things, at least during the time of our sadhana. If you can let go throughout the day, it's a greater stage. But at least during sadhana time, Shravanam time, if sadhana chatushtaya is at the peak, what is the sadhana chatushtaya called as? Uparati. Uparati and samadhanam. Both go together. Only when I withdraw the mind, I have the required capital to invest. These are Gurudev's words. Only when you save, you have the capital to invest somewhere else. He says you want to invest your mind's energy in this pursuit. So for that, you have to save from outside. You cannot expect to be strongly opinionated person, strongly carried away by Vishayas, and expect to do Adhyatma Upasana. Horse riding, Either I can enjoy the horse or horse can enjoy me. Both of it. Mind controlled is that horse which I can enjoy. Mind turbulent, it enjoys at my cost. Wherever it throws me off, there I am thrown off. So these are all different techniques for working with our mind. We should appreciate it as it is and spend time reflecting upon it. The good news is this Upasana, we don't have any complaints, or we cannot have any complaints, should not have any complaints on why we cannot do it. So what is not clear? Eyelid keeps blinking. The thoughts keep coming. Thunder, once in a while it comes. Right? No samagri needed. No any external objects needed. Time is also not a constraint. There is no, did you see any vidhi over here? do this Upasana only in the morning at Brahma Muhurta, not in the evening. After sunset, you cannot do this Upasana. That is the beauty of Bhagwan's name. Tadeva Lagnam Sudinam Tadeva. Lakshmi Pater Angri Yugam Smarami. The last part is that. That time is auspicious whenever Lakshmipati Bhagwan is remembered. Don't look for the auspicious time. That time when you think about the Lord is auspicious time. For Upasana. For Upasana. Karma Kanda will have its own emphasis on Desha Kala. Samipata Smarati Abhikshnam Vrusham means repeatedly this thing is able to recollect. Sankalpa cha manasaha brahma vishayaha. Of any thought like sankalpa, kama, krodha, Brahman becomes vishaya of that thought. Now I'll ask you one question. You have to think about it. Don't answer right away. Do you see any echoes of a mantra which we saw previously in this mantra? Which mantra was that? Shrotrasya Shrotram, but specifically with thought. Good. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Then Pratibodha Viditam Matam Amrutatvam hi vindate Atmana vindate viryam Vidyaya vindate mrutam. When we saw that mantra, did we see that mantra as Upasana or Jnanam? Jnanam. Bhagwan clarified there that this mantra is Jnana part. This mantra, what we are seeing right now, are we seeing it as part of Upasana or Jnanam? Upasana. What is the technique? Through thought, shift attention to consciousness. So how come same mantra, having the same technique, in one place it is called Jnanam, another place it is called Upasana? Okay, you can think. This was the analogy which I mentioned, revealer and revealed. Okay. Revealed is the object, but that is helping shift attention to revealer. Illumined is helping shift attention to the illuminator. Okay. There is an important announcement, so please stay back. Radhaji, you can comment. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. You have to position yourself so they can see you on this.
Hari Om. So we've been very fortunate in this study of this Upanishad, where we not only saw all the mantras in great detail, but also the meaning of every word in the Bhashya on this Upanishad. So sincere thanks to
We cannot hear Radhaji.
Is it good now?
check.
Yes.
Check. Yeah, is it better? Okay. As we have done in other classes, we are going to do a review session on Kenopanishad. And the purpose of the review session is really to reflect on the teachings of this Upanishad. Sohamji says, reviews get us closest to the teachings of this Upanishad. So it helps sort of go beyond just a mere intellectual appreciation and understanding to something that sinks in deeper and causes some inner transformation. So there is the The link to the sign-up sheet should be on the chat. Please do sign up. And you'll be assigned a verse or a topic from Kenopanishad. And you'll have 5 minutes to share your reflection, which should talk about kind of the key ideas of that mantra, what's the key import from that mantra. Also bring in some examples, relevant examples, and your own reflection on that mantra as well. So you don't need to go into the details on the Bhashya. This review will be done in 2 sessions. First one will be on February 25th. At the end of the class, it'll be a shorter session. And then on March 4th, will be dedicated for the reviews, all the speakers. Preference will be given. I mean, obviously, to the speakers who have not had a chance to talk on some of the other classes. We've done reviews on Vedanta Sara, on Bhaja Govindam, Hanuman Chalisa. So if you're on the fence, sign up quickly before your mind convinces you otherwise. And you're also going to get additional guidance from Soham Ji to kind of navigate your 5 minutes. So, Hari Om, thank you.
Thank you, Radhaji. In-person attendees can give names to Radhaji directly. And I'm looking forward to that whole process of review. It's not just what we speak on that day, right? A lot of it happens on when we get to prepare for it. And we also will have time to have probably 1 session, 1 or 2 if needed, on anything that is needed, how to prepare that content, okay? Any questions, you can type it in the chat. Related to Kenopanishad, you can put it on the Google form in the website. All right, Hari Om, everyone.